Hello guys, Triton here. So if you haven't been paying attention to Fallout lately, Bethesda released Fallout Wastelanders. Now, before I get into the actual DLC, there's something I want to mention about Fallout 76. Listen, the game isn't good by any stretch of the imagination, in my humble opinion. You know, first off, this game has been out for 2 years, and it takes them 2 years to get content that's decent actually into the game. That doesn't make sense. And point two, are they going to continue to do this for the next 3 additional years, not come out with like Fallout 5 or something that we actually want, and continuously release DLC? Are they going to do something like they do with GTA? You see, constantly releasing DLC and not bringing us the actual games that we want. Okay, I'm just not with this whole idea of constant DLC and not being creative and giving us actual games that we want. I hope they reform from this, and let's talk about Bethesda for a moment. Bethesda has been doing some shady stuff lately. The whole loot box style system, microtransaction systems with the cards that they have in Fallout 76. I'm not with that. Okay, it's ironic how all the other Fallout games, and I'm going to mention Fallout 4, most certainly. All the other Fallout games were so well, and they get to Fallout 76, and they just screw it up. And it's just a huge downgrade, That doesn't make sense. Fallout 4, when it launched with buttloads of content already in the game. The settlement building system, which they add these camps. I don't know what that is. I'm not with that. And they remove settlements, okay, and they give you these pre-built settlements with quests in them. That doesn't make sense to me. The settlement building system was one of the most popular systems in Fallout 4, and you remove it. That doesn't make sense. And another thing is, what's really going on with the story in this game? It's not really all the way there how I would like it. You see, it's just not good at all, and I'm not really feeling the story. Let's talk about Fallout 4 and its DLC. Guess how many DLCs Fallout 4 launched with, or not launched with, but 6 months later came out for it. It came out 5 DLCs. You see, and PCE got even more bug fixes and graphic updates. And how many DLCs does this game have? And I'm not really a big fan of DLC. The game should launch right from the beginning, and this game didn't launch right from the beginning. It was screwed up, and they finally give us content that's decent. How many years later? This game was scrutinized, rightly so, at launch, and it's been scrutinized before. So the Wastelanders DLC it looks cool. They've added a lot of things, new armor, new quest. But as I close, this doesn't change anything about Fallout 76. Okay? It's still not a good game. While this DLC may be decent, it's still not a good game, in my humble opinion. It's lackluster. It's below average. They just need to go back to the drawing board, Bethesda, and reform themselves and actually give us a Fallout game that people actually want to play. Okay? If you look at the consumer rating for this game, it's very low across the board. Okay? And it's just not good. I don't know what to say. It's not good. This DLC is decent. I like the trailer. I like what I'm seeing from the DLC. But come on, 2 years later, it's 2020. This game came out in 2017. So 3 years later, and we're getting something like this now. That doesn't make sense. They need to reform this and go back to the drawing board. This just is disappointing, and I don't like what I'm seeing, and Bethesda, hopefully you are able to get Fallout 5 when you're going to make it correctly. Hopefully it doesn't come 8 years later, 6 years later, whenever they get around to developing the game. I saw some leaks that it was coming out, but whenever they get around to it, hopefully they do it right, and it isn't just as big of a failure as this game is. Fallout 76 was a failure, and they don't need this. But I'm finally closing, and this is just my humble opinion, but don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and peace out.